Hi, this is Jason Fielder with the Daily Forex Report for September 9th. Currently looking at the U.S. Japanese yen pair. This particular pair closed lower. It did break previous support today, but closed above it. We are moving sideways, but definitely have a bias to the downside. Look for this pair to potentially move as high as 93.11, possibly as low as 90.96. Look for some resistance around 92.53. And look for some support around 91.50 in this pair. Now, switching over to the Euro-USD pair, this particular pair closed higher today, is moving higher with a bias to the upside. Look for this pair to potentially move as high as 146.87, possibly as low as 139.10. Look for some resistance around 14600, and look for some support around 14500. Now, switching to the pound US dollar pair. This pair closed up, barely broke previous resistance, but did pull back before the close. We are looking for this pair to continue moving sideways overall with a heavy bias to the upside. Look for this pair to potentially go as high as 166.98, possibly as low as 163.48. Look for some resistance around 165.92. And look for some support around 164.86 in this pair. Now, let's take a look at the Swiss US dollar pair. This pair continues to move lower, biased to the downside, and it's moving down. Look for this pair to potentially move as high as 1.0552, possibly as low as 10313. Look for some resistance around 10432 and look for some support around 10380. Now, what am I looking for during this next session? Well, first let's talk a little bit about the news. We have, I guess the biggest news for tomorrow is the Bank of England releasing their rate decision at 7 a.m. Eastern Time. Consensus is that they're going to hold rates at 0.50%. Now, I am looking for that to occur. I am also looking for this market to move sideways, and we'll get into that a little bit later. The U.S. has their trade balance for July being released at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Consensus is things have improved from negative 27 billion to negative 25 billion. The U.S. also has their initial job claims, a jobless claims report for September being released at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. No consensus as of yet. The Bank of Canada has their interest rate decisions being released tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Previous was 0.25%. No consensus. Most likely they are going to hold prices. If I had to guess, that's what I would anticipate. Now, we also have the New Zealand food prices for August being released. Here again, no consensus. The previous was 0.6%. That's being released at 6:45 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, the Japanese have their gross domestic product for the second quarter being released, and that's going to be at 7:50 p.m. Eastern Time. The previous was 0.9%, and there is no consensus as of yet as to what this month's will be. Now, we have two news announcements coming out that are of significance, or rate decisions. Basically, we have the pound US dollar pair, which you see before you, and if you notice, we have consolidation just over the past couple hours. In this, I do anticipate this to continue on until the news is released. So if you have a good counter trend system, this is a great time to take an opportunity to do so. Now, if you are going to trade a breakout when the news occurs, you're going to want to basically wait until the hour of the news is going to be released, which if we use this day's price as an example, the news would have been released during this session, or during this bar, sorry, on the 1 hour bar. Definitely look for a breakout of the high and the low. The only issue with this is if they hold rates, which I anticipate them doing, you can get a lot of whipsaw. So you may want to actually look to go short when it goes higher, and look to buy if it goes lower, breaking out of those points, assuming that the rate is the same. Now, we also have the U.S. Canadian dollar pair releasing their interest rate announcement. Also, if you notice, the range for today was fairly light. We have from the high to the absolute low of about 88 pips. I guess that's somewhat normal for this pair, but it is on the lower side. Definitely look for this pair to continue within a range. It'll probably tighten up, if I had to guess, over the next several hours. Look for this pair to move within a range, and you could use a good counter trend strategy to profit from that. Well, that about does it for today. Until next time, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.